great design for me is where it surprises and delights you. It doesn't just reveal itself in one hit. And we're in Melbourne's Fitzroy North, and this back fence is a little clue that we're in for quite the treat.
Yeah, when you can peel back the layers, always makes it interesting. Now, this one combines Eastern philosophy with Western luxury and some good old Aussie ingenuity.
Look, we've got a little sneak peek of what's in store, but believe it or not, this is not the main entrance. Let's go around the front to the more traditional entrance to start our adventure. Now, this is where the fun begins. So often you see a gate that leads directly to a front door, but not here, Pete. You've got this gorgeous winding pathway that just adds to the mystique of this home.
On this side, we've got a cottage garden. On this side, we've got some maple and bamboo. Already the blending of cultures, and they lead to this 1927 workman's cottage, still with some of the original details, the shiplap weatherboards and the fretwork.
Yeah, now this home is called Kia,
which is Indigenous for by or adjacent to the beautiful place.
Well, speaking of beautiful, that is quite a statement front door.
Whoa.
So not a huge amount of the original cottage has changed. They've kind of tweaked a few things here and there, but the owners actually lived in the home for 10 years before they renovated, so they could work out what was missing. And the number one thing, storage.
Now, here's some creative storage ideas. An artistic coat hanger. If I can find the pegs.
That is so cool.
Now, look, if you're doing an alteration in addition to an old workman's cottage, I reckon you need to set aside about 30% of your budget.
Wow.
To do your plumbing, new wiring, your bathroom with your penny rounds, Joe.
Favourites.
And here's a creative storage idea. Through an old doorway, some open shelves.
The best part about this, Pete, is it links you visually to that brand new kitchen.
Now, boom, that is one signature bench.
Oh, it's definitely a signature bench, but for me, I'm sorry, this is a seriously awesome kitchen. Clearly, the owners love cooking. I mean, look, Pete, you've got your double oven in here, already wired up. You've got your sous vide, you've got an ice cream maker, a Thermomix, all ready to go. But the serious clue, check out these. These heat your food when you're plating them up, and if you need a bit of extra bench space, well, you can just extend the stainless steel bench.
You're not leaving.
Far out, I'm in love.
All the timbers featured in this kitchen are 130 years old. They're out of an old sugar mill. Now, the temptation for those cupboards above the kitchen workspace would have been to run them straight through. Instead, they've angled the ends back just to pick up that beautiful natural light. This is durable, practical, sustainable and sculptural.
Oh my God, for once Pete and I agree 100%. Hard to believe, Pete, that the kitchen was originally on this side of the room.
Which is now a complete bank of storage full of everything you need. But believe it or not, behind one of these doors is a hidden pathway to a secret sanctuary.
And here is our clue.
Where the old house ends, down a level, the parent retreat begins.
This has a completely different feel to the rest of the home. I think it's the texture and the earthiness of the terracotta bricks, Pete.
Which is also echoing the fabric of the old neighbourhood.
Look at that, you've got your rainfall shower, but if you step across here, I'll just help me put up these screens. Oh, look at that!
This is inspired by the old Japanese hot springs known as onsen.
I also love the idea, Pete, of like sinking down into a bath rather than stepping up over into it. I mean, and look out this window. Talk about being immersed in nature.
Yeah, more to see down here.
I'll put the screen back.
Sometimes the greatest architectural concepts come by flipping existing ideas on their head. This is a case in point, this beautiful bedroom. Now, it occupies a space in the backyard where normally a garage would go. Well, that poses privacy problems, I hear you ask. How have they dealt with that? Well, not only the electronic louvers, but we're creating not one, but two sets of curtains. So we have this light filtering veil, or, if you want complete darkness, a wraparound dark theatrical curtain. But the real eureka moment in this design was keeping something that was already here, this beautiful native ghost gum tree. Now, the owners are quite spiritual, so this becomes a prayer space with direct connection with this beautiful old native. This private haven is completely encased in nature.
Up up the perforated red steel circular staircase, which is such a funky feature. In fact, perforated steel is actually a theme throughout the entire home. And one thing you have to mention here is the consideration that has been given to all of the different lights that they've selected, whether it be like low set lights or that incredible pendant in the entranceway or those amazing repurposed Zambuca bottles over the dining table. And in fact, you can even change the colour of the lights in most rooms using the latest in home automation. And the artwork, I mean, everywhere you look, there are just beautiful pieces. And inside, that piece in the lounge room by Kate Bain, I mean, she's been in the Archibald several times over, but it's not just inside the house either. Outside, this magnificent mural by Seb Humphries can be enjoyed not only from the back of the garden, but it's a bit of a gift to the entire street as well.
And here's a bit of good old Aussie ingenuity, using some hurricane fencing for something other than it was designed for, a light filter and also a shield, just in case some of those ghost gum branches drop.
Pete, there's more of the beautiful Seb Humphries mural on the underside of this timber panelling. They'll actually add to that over the years as the timber weathers naturally. Kind of sums up this whole home's design. It's about flexibility and blurring the lines between indoors and outdoors. I mean, the flexibility of adding this outdoor table to the indoor table because everything's on one level. So when you've got a big dinner party, you can have plenty of friends around.
Yeah.
You can open things up and close them down all throughout the house depending on how you want to live.
Look, great design is not necessarily how it looks, but how it makes you feel. And this has a wonderful, tranquil quality, and that's largely due to this Asian-inspired rock garden. This house is practical, it's very spiritual, but it's driven by the most important design key of all, nature.